Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pegasus, and on today's video we're going to continue the G6 review. Oh well, not review, the look over of what you actually gain when you actually access G6. Now, a couple of weeks ago I released a video showing you what changes had been made from G5 into G6. Now we're going to be looking about where G6 is, how to gain access, getting around, the hostiles out there, the hazard systems, the mining, and we're also going to touch on the dailies as well. But also, as much as I did cover the buildings in the last video, I will briefly touch on them again today, along with the research with a tactic that I found is not going to be to everybody's liking, but it's an idea on how you would like to proceed with G6. So if you do end up liking this, please smash that like button and don't forget to hit the bell notification. Now, I will get my words out because what I'm going to try and do is slow down a little bit when I'm talking. So let's start with the big one. Where is G6 territory? Well, to put it bluntly, it's right over there. Yes, above me here is G5 space, and then next to it is G6. Now, there's a little bit of an issue that I have here with the location of G6 because Federation space is all the way over here, and at the top there is G5 Federation space. Now you want G6 Federation space. Well, for some peculiar reason it's been placed over here. Why is beyond us, but hey, it's Scopely. We've given up asking on why they're doing these kind of things. But you've got Federation space here, Romanian space is to the north of it, and then just to the south here is also Klingon G6 space. Now, there are varying systems as well in here, reaching up to the level 70 systems. As you can see, Veros there, that is a level 70 system, but it's not the furthest point within Klingon space. Now, there are also some red lines, as you can see, flighting through. These are the super highways. There is some research to unlock it. We will quickly just look at the research about where it is. It's in the combat tree. Let's just put it bluntly. Obviously, you won't be able to gain access to them until at least R&D 64. So, for the time being, for early G6 players, sadly, you're going to be stuck by the timers of being able to travel around. Now, next question is, how do you actually gain access to G6 space? Because the one thing you'll find is between these particular four systems right here, the two pathways are actually locked with a red line, and it says that you'll need to complete the mission Operation 61. What's that? Well, upgrade your operations to 61. That's it. Nice and simple. Easy done. So you've got these two here, which also happens to connect to the Gorn space for the G6s, which I've not even tried to go in yet. And then you've got these four here, starting with Blum, as indicated by the hostile symbol, because we are in the middle of invasions right now. So basically then, you can gain access to these beginning systems as a G5 player. So you got Axnotin and Blum, which are warp 600 systems. So if we just put that... Oh, I can't. Not right now. Is the bug cube low enough? No, it's not. Well, they're warp range 600 systems. I can't even say that the discovery... Ah, here we go. I've got at least one discovery working that way. So warp range 600 will allow you to get to those systems. And then, obviously, once you unlock, the first systems you're going to enter is the independent systems with a warp range of 700. Now, gaining access to the faction systems, obviously, as you're going to be your first one here, you'll be looking at a higher warp range of 900 to gain access to them. So you are going to need a decently tiered ship from G5 to get there. Well, how about we just say a G5 Epic would be your best bet. The G4 rares will not have the warp range, even with a warp range enhancing crew. Maybe the Corinar, maybe just be able to do it. No, it's not a Corinar, is it? No, it's not a Corinar. So the Klingon Explorer, because obviously you can use the full warp range where TOS Scotty as captain increases warp range, and then you put Grush on one side, Cadet Scotty on the other, and you've got your warp range. We have no below deck officers for warp range as of yet at the time of recording this video, so It really does suck. But when it comes to ships, obviously you've got a ship here. This is a tier 2 Selkie. As you can see, its standard warp range is 1004. Now, bearing in mind that I do have various research which increases my warp range. But what this is going to do, this is going to cycle nicely into the next part, is how to get around G6 space and what ships ideally you can use. Well, as I've just stated, G5 epics will absolutely cover it. As you can see, my Enterprise can do 1115 warp range. So that effectively actually brings the ship all the way round, believe it or not, to this level 63 system here, the top end of the 63 systems. However, if I try to send it to the next system, sadly, it's a higher warp range. I can't reach it. However, can my Selkie? No. Even my Selkie, tier 2 Selkie, cannot reach this range. But if we look at the tier 3 that's currently mining, again, even he can't reach it. It's only got 1014, sorry. So, yeah. Now, there is an argument about what ship to actually go for in the G6 region. Well, unless you're planning on doing the rush to 63, you're kind of stuck with your G5 Epic. But there is one ship that you'll gain in G4, and it is ops locked. So watch out for that one with various lock. It's got some lock points along the way. I can't remember where specifically. But by ops 56, I had a maxed NX class starship. Ignore the strike team. I've just literally put ships out to use. As you can see, the warp range from my NX-01 is 1513. Now, that's a combination of its built warp range, which is ridiculously crap, maxing out at 200. Yeah, crap. But there's also the favor in the Xborg faction store to increase the NX-01's warp range by a maximum of 1200. That's going to give it a 1400 warp range. Plus, obviously, any warp range research that you actually do will also help as well. But yeah, if I put a warp range crew on it, well, let's show you. So, just to show you the warp range crew I've got, ignore the below decks because it's a mix of impulse speed and crew for a PvP setup. But it's the 3 officers on the deck: TOS Scotty in command, Cadet Scotty and Grush, increasing that warp range. So what you're going to be looking at now, for me, for the NX-01, 1738. Well, how far can 1738 actually get me? Well, believe it or not, all the way up here. Yeah. And if we change the Discovery briefly, this is a 1700 warp system. And the NX-01 can get me that far. It is unbelievable how far it can actually get you. So, yeah. Now, this brings in the argument of, do you really need a G6 uncommon? Well, if you're low level 60, like me, it's not an argument. It's not a debate. You cannot get the G6 uncommons yet. You can start working on them, but do you really want to? Well, if you do, crack on, do it. It's your game, your choice. However, here's the warp ranges for, this is base warp range for the Akira class starship, the G6 uncommon. The Akira, as you can see, by its warp range increments, each tier is pathetic. Yes, it's got a good start, so which means you can easily breach G6 space at 1100. But topping out at just over 1400? Yeah. If you want to get around in perfect honesty, right? NX-01, no questions about it. And the one beauty about the NX-01 as well is it can also take you to these kind of systems, which you'll find at the level 67 system, which is going to segue perfectly into the next bit, which is mining. Well, it's actually not meant to be the next bit, it's meant to be hazards, but as you can see here, we have a hub system. And what's in here? Well, if we could just select one, come on, select it, is G6 gas nodes. So basically, I can take the NX-01 out here, drop it in, drop my base in, and mine crystal. Now, to be perfectly honest, right, the mine, if we actually call up the cell key, it hasn't got the crystal off, so on the in command, it's got the ore one because it's currently doing a gas node. Yeah, I just put it out there for the case of this video. But as you can see, the mining rates that I would have for this is 63,338. Now, if we actually jump to where the cell key actually is, it's actually on a switcher node, which you may be able to gain access to at a lower warp range of 900. Guess what? Your cell key is going to get in there. So this is going to bring around the debate of what miner do you actually need for G6? Is it going to be the cell key, which you can access at Shipyard 41, and you can spread its cost of 1.5 million faction credits across Federation, Klingon, and Romulan. So basically 500,000 each, and you can get a cell key. I've got 2. I made sure before I came into G6 I had 2, but I'm literally only working on the 1 because they're not particularly cheap to upgrade neither. So working on that basis, which one's going to be better for me? These, or should I have gone for the G5 faction miners? Well, in all honesty, the cell key. The cell key starting off with a reasonable warp range of making sure that I can reach this system, not a problem. Whereas the G5 faction miners are specifically aimed at G5 faction, G5 material mining. And the problem is to get them to here, that I'm going to need them at a decent warp tier, high tier in warp range. That's a lot of materials and a lot of resources spent. Potentially, on the whole, if you actually balanced it out, I would probably say it's going to take more time to sort that out, going from Shipyard 58 to Shipyard 61. I might as well just get the cell key blueprints ready for going into G6, keep using my Novas, and then get cell keys. Build the cell keys, put them out there, because even at tier 1 they are still pretty good. So again, this is going to come down to the argument, the debate, should I say, of which one is better. No question, in my personal opinion, is the cell key. Just pure and simple. It, like I said, it's going to take a high tier G5 faction miner just to reach this system. But where I've got the cell key right now, which is here, she can actually go further, more into faction space. So she can reach this system, which is a warp 900 still. It's a level 61 system. But if we jump to the 62, well, guess what? It's 1,000. Guess what? My cell key can reach it. But as well, the cell key can do things like mine the resources as well, because there is a bit of an issue when it comes to mining resources. Now, I'm kind of hoping where the Enterprise is, there is some resource nodes in here as well. No, there isn't, which is a bit of a bugger, really. But if you try and put the warships on any of these nodes, guess what? You can't mine them. You can't mine them. So literally the cell key is going to be your best bet for this. Now, as you can see, the Enterprise here is in Romulan space at level 61. It is a hub system, but we're not going to get too much into it. And there's hostiles in here, there's armadas. We're going to cover them shortly, because I want to circle back to hazards, because that is one also big thing that's been brought in for G6. And potentially it's going to carry on through G7 as well, but we don't have any information on that as of yet. Well, not that I'm privy to, anyway. But the one thing is, if you want to have a look at hazards, this is the first one you can actually go for as, believe it or not, a G5 player. And my G5 rare can reach this system. Yeah, it's going to take it 3 minutes to get there. Guess what? We're not going to fly it there. But as you can see, it's showing up as a hazard. Now, this is an ion storm. This will give you the first taste on what it's like to be in a hazard system. And when I first commissioned the Enterprise D as a level 60, I sent it there. It lasted a few minutes with no kills. It was a level 1 ship though, so it was brand spanking new out the dock. And I just left it there just to see how long it would actually last. But when you go fighting the hostiles in there, you're losing your hull to the hostiles. You're also losing your hull to the hazard as well. In this case, an ion storm. And we all know with Star Trek lore, ion storms cause damage. So let's have a quick look at this particular one then. So ion storm hazard, as a hazard, systems will do a base hazard damage of only 1% of your ship's hull health, your remaining ship's hull health, every 5 seconds. So it'll take 1%. So if you have 1,000 hull, it will take 1%. So it'll take 10 bits of hull health off in that first 5 seconds. For the next one, it will be whatever's left on 990. So 1% of that is what? We'll just say 9. So it's going to take 9 off. So the amount of hull health it does every 5 seconds does decrease the amount of hull it takes off, but it's still 1% of your hull. And then you've got this 100%, which basically says, yeah, there's no changes. Now, as you can see in the second part, it's going to give you the fact you got base hazard resistance, and you've got resistance to, particularly in this case, the ion storm. I've got 5%. That's from particular research. There is another piece of research which will give you the extra resistance. And if we look at this one, the resistance has jumped up to 50%. But we'll look at that briefly when we actually look at the research. But my ship could survive here quite nicely. Now, if we actually have a look in the system, you'll actually see what is actually in here. So you can see there's hostiles in here, and it's nice and colourful. So by all means, go, if you are a G5 player and if you've got the warp range of 600, go have a look, take on these hostiles. Give yourself an idea of what you're going to be facing when you get into G6. But again, that's entirely up to you. Now, as you go further into, there are some hazards as well before we actually get into the next bit of hazards. There are hazards in independent systems as well, so watch out for that one. There is mining in hazard systems, so again, watch out for that one. So if you can get a little bit of focus on giving yourself some resistance for your cell key, I would highly recommend it. So now moving on to the more hazard systems, if we look at this one here, as you can see, it says 200%. So if you jump on this one, this is an asteroid field. It's going to deal 200% base damage. So basically that 1% is doubled. So instead of taking 1,000 hull, instead of taking just 10, it's going to take 20 off you every single time. So then it's 19, so on. You know how it goes. But again, doing some research for the hazard resistance will actually help you survive a little bit longer. Now, the percentage it takes off as resistance against hazard, I'm not 100% sure how that's actually working. Somebody who's better at the maths and understanding these mechanics than me, who's been doing G6 longer, please drop it in the comment section down below. But as far as I'm aware, basically it's taking that 10 bits of hull health off me, and it's taking 5% of it. That's it. It's keeping that 5% on. So it's just, yeah, it's a really small fraction. But again, so watch out for that. It's got the number on it as well to tell you. But let's have a quick look at this one. So this is the hazard system for asteroids. As you can see, we've seen this in demonstrations already. There's asteroids flying all over the place. Now, the one thing is as well, what you'll find, and here they come now at the top of the screen, is a bunch of asteroids. These will do nothing to your ship. It's just basically, it's just going to continuously take bits of hull off you. But you're going to get asteroids flying through. So it is a nice animation, in all honesty, but it is what it, yeah. There's not much else you can say. Now, there is also another hazard, which is the radiation. Which system are you in? There you go. There's a hazard here. Here we go. Here's the radiation one. So we'll have a quick look at the radiation system as well. And what I'll do is I will send a ship out there so you can have a brief look about what it looks like on the icons as well. But this is a radiation system, so you can see some like dead stars and that. But yeah, again, this has got mining in it, so you can see all these players here that will have high level resistance to be able to mine here. And if you actually see, there's even level 70 players here. And this is one thing where we're encountered, well, I definitely encountered when I moved into G6. The low level systems do not have enough nodes, and there was lots of players wanting them. Yeah, and you also had high level players mining in these lower systems because they didn't want to take on the higher level hazards, which if we jump up to the end of Romulus space, so right here, 500% hazard. Yeah. So now I don't know what hazard's in that one. Oh, it's a radiation one. But again, that's an awful lot. I don't know what's in that system because obviously I've not been able to open it as of yet. So enjoy the hazards, have a little bit of fun, but again, watch out because they will damage your ship while you are there. So what I'm going to do, just to show you what comes up on the icon, yep, that one, I'm going to send this other Selkie in so you get to see it. So watch out for that one and what it does. And remember, this is an an asteroid one? Yeah, so this was an asteroid one. They're different colors icons which appear. So, but like I say, when it comes to mining, you might find it difficult to find a G6 node because of other players. So watch out for OPCs, watch out for zero node hoggers, or watch out for those players who will put in different miners on these nodes. So again, the Selkie is going to be a good one. However, one thing you are going to encounter is what we're going to find out with the Selkie a little bit later on, because I'm just going to leave it in that system. So now we're going to move on to the hostiles, and for that, luckily, the Enterprise is already in a system with hostiles, and it's also got, yes, you can see the Armada, so we are going to be looking at that. Now for this as well, I'm going to need the dailies, because the dailies come into this, and in fact, to be perfectly honest, I could do with a higher level system on this one. So is it that one? Yep, that one's got something. So we're going to send the Enterprise out to that particular system, because this way I can show you the dailies. So while the Enterprise is actually flying there, let's actually just jump into the dailies, because I thought I might as well kill the time rather than just sitting around waiting. So as we jump into the dailies then, again, there's not going to be much change. Certain ones have now got things like the Sigma speed ups and resources added. So as you can see here, nice little sourcing of some Sigma speed ups. But when it comes to the G6 stuff, you want to be looking at these. So here you've got the G6 mining, which is going to give you titanium, and it's also going to give you some survey parts, which is going to be brilliant for upgrading your Selkie. But watch out for these higher ones, is the hazard ones as well. Here you've got the hostile hunters, destroying hostiles. As you can see, it's only 5 for the hunter at 61 or higher. Any 5 at any level will actually do. But watch out for these harbingers and the faction champions, because they're going to give you a +2 points for every level above 61. And this is the reason why I want the Enterprise in that higher level system, so I can actually show that off to you. There is also mining in hazard systems should you want to go at. I would recommend, if you could try it, do it. I can't even make 84,000 in a hazard system. I think the highest I've got so far is 27,000. So for me, it's not going to happen. But the reason I would like it is because of these hazard particles, which you're going to need for your research later on. But we will talk about them later on. So moving into the factions, and as you can see, for the factions, I'm only going to need to kill 10 faction ships. The other one is the Harbinger Hunter the Hunter one, Hostile Hunter, is 61 or higher of any particular. So that could be the Freight 2 cars or whatever they are, the invasions. You could do Independence. You could do I can't say Cardis. I can't say Delta. Delta Quadrant. I can't say Dominion because they're all pre-60, but maybe the augments. Yeah, the new augments as well. You could look at killing as well. But these ones are particularly factions, and again, 50 points as well for the champions. But again, it's going to give you that extra point incentive. And it is actually an incentive for you to try and punch as high as you can. But as well, as you can see as well, you've got G6S mining as well, which is going to just basically pay out, yeah, resources, rep, and credits. That's about it. So I tend not to worry too much about the mining side of things because of the level of materials I need to spend in the refinery. And we'll quickly jump into the refinery here. And so if we look at the crystal, we look at the cost of materials, 60,000 for a 2-chest pull. 10 times the cost for just 4 times the amount. But hey ho, it is the refinery. I'm not exactly going to say the RNG is pretty good, but the one thing is, if I wanted to, and I could do this, spend some faction credits in the faction store, and nope, not that one, not that one. Here it is. So we've got G6 materials, as you can see here, 60,000. The Federation is obviously giving me gas and ore. The Klingons will give me gas and crystal, and the Romulans will give me ore and crystal. So pulling all 6 of these at a total cost of 8,440 faction credits every 22 hours means I can still do 2 pulls on the a 2-chest pull on the refinery twice a day. So do I need to worry about mining? No, I really don't need to worry about mining. Now, the Enterprise has finally arrived in the system, and the Selkies almost arrived. But as you can see here, you've got ships here as well. This one's badly damaged, but this is a level 62 ship, and I'll tell you what, we're going to use this one as an example. Now, watch out when you're going for these hostiles. Like G5, they do have an ability with them, so just be careful. However, when it comes to doing your dailies, make sure it actually says Romulan, Starfleet, or Klingon to make sure you're actually going to get, because I don't know if I could actually find one in here. Here we go, a battleship, Riemann. This, if I go after this particular Riemann one right now, I guarantee that this is not going to score towards the faction or the Klingon dailies. So I get to show you that. We're also going to show you off the armadas in here as well, and where you can source the directives, and we're going to have a look at the armada chest quickly as well. So as you can see, I've killed this Riemann. Yes, it's worked towards an event, but if I jump in here to the dailies and we start scrolling, nothing towards a faction allegiance. Yep, it says 59 or higher, so that should really work. No, it doesn't. So moving on then. So Hostile Hunter, not done. Oh, hang on a minute. Hostile Harbinger, why has that got 3 points? It was a 62. So you're going to get the 1 point for it being above 61. It's 61 or higher. And then you're going to get an additional 2 points for it being 1 level above. Now, I can tell you that if you go, I go around killing 64s, I get 7 points. That's 3 levels above the 61. So 2 points each level. So that's 2, 4, 6. That's a bonus 6 points for me. Plus that 1 point for it being 61 or higher. 7 points for killing a 64. And that's what I'll get there. But if we jump to the factions, as you can see, it's not touched the Federation or the Klingon ones, because it wasn't classed as a faction hostile. So watch out for that one, because you will have both flying around the system. But yeah, if I pick, let's go after this 63 here, just to actually show you. double. I should get 5 points off this one. So the Klingon and Romulan ones, for the 50 pointers, I should get 5 points, which means I have to kill 10 of these to actually complete that daily. Or if I don't have to kill 10, I kill 5. And I jump onto one of the other factions, kill 5 in there, go to the other faction, kill 5 in there. And that will cover, believe it or not, all 3 factions in the end. So, there you go. Faction Legions now has confirmed I have a kill. It's confirmed I have a kill. Hostile Hunter, showing me I've done it. But there you go. There's the 5 points added to the Harbinger as well. But again, jump down to the factions. Here we go. 161 or higher, kill. 5 points, like I said, for being 2 levels. So that's 4 points there. Plus that 1 point for the 61 or higher. 5 points. Which basically means 5 level, for me to get 50 points, right? 5 level 63 Romulans, 5 level 63 Klingons. That's done. That is done. Is it 5? Yeah, hang on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, 25 points. So I can go through all 3 factions. Now, it is a ball ache because to travel between the systems, you're talking massive amounts of times. If I wanted to do some jumps, I could be looking at 10 to 20 minutes flight time. So when I do this bit, it is a pain in the ass in travel time just to spend a couple of minutes in the system killing 63 or higher. It is a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie. But that's what it is. Now, I have heard talk that the freebooters are coming for G6 players. When's that going to arrive? Your guess is as good as mine. So, yeah. Now, obviously, if you are a G6 player and you're looking ahead, do you want to look at that G6 uncommon? Well, again, Warp Ranger, as we've already mentioned, is not really needed. You've got your NX-01, and if you've done that favour, you're covering 95% of G6 space. However, when it comes to combat, is the G6 uncommon really worth it? Well, if you get it to tier 7 or higher, yes. It will do better than the G5 Epic. However, my Enterprise, if I put my base in a 67 system, which is a hub system, with a material, so I can send the Selkie out mining, I can kill level 66s. Yes, I'm going to be repairing the Enterprise a little bit more frequently. Repair costs are going to be cheaper. I'm not... With the G6 uncommon as well, I'm having to use Sigma resources and Sigma repair speed ups. Do I really want to be looking at that? But yeah, I've got crap loads of normal speed ups and resources. So cost wise, for me, the G5 Epic is going to win out in a competition between which one would be better. Sigma is expensive, and if you remember in the last video, I showed you the repair cost for a day speed up, which was 1.5 million. An 8-hour speed up was 500,000 Latinum. Expensive. Oh, destroyed. I forgot. I hope you caught the fact it had an emblem around it. I forgot to cover that a little bit, but I'm hoping you actually saw it. So, but is it really worth it? No. Also, because this system has a node, there you go. Can't put the Enterprise on it, but yeah, I can tell the Selkie to come and mine it. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the Selkie as well, what I would highly recommend is making sure that you have the Borg Tribble as captain. Yes, put the Borg Tribble as captain, put full synergy, and go mine these things if you really, really want to. That will also help towards things like mining Monday. But again, you'll be mining an awful lot. As you can see, 31,000 per hour on this one. So yeah, it is going to, mining is a drag in G6, but combat is a hell of a lot faster with the way the point scoring works for your dailies. If they do release the freebooters for G6, obviously that's going to work to cover what you're used to from G5. So just bear all of that in mind. So that is G6 really, as condensed as I can make it. Now, I did tell you that I was going to do a solo Armada, so let's have a look at this one. Here is the uncommon Armada. It's going to cost you, as you can see, that also got abilities, so watch out for the, so check the abilities, make sure you're crewing accordingly. As you can see, I'm using Chakotay for his abilities. So this one's increasing isolated damage, so maybe some ISO defense below deck would be great as well. And then as you can see, this is increasing isolated defense by 50% as well, so make sure you got that isolated damage. I've got Janeway on him, Janeway with Chakotay, so Janeway is giving me that isolated damage. It is a solo Armada, so you can bring up to 3 ships to these, but if you can do them solo as with a single ship, that will be even better. As you can see, it's going to cost you 100 directives. We're going to put that in. It is a 90-second timer, but where are you going to get these directives from? Well, jump into your daily gifts. That one there I've just done, the chest. Boom. There you go. 300. So you get 3 runs at these things per day. Per day. Yeah. So, and my Armada crew can kill these hostiles as well. So, yeah, realistically, if I really wanted to, I could spend time in just one particular faction, killing off, I was going to claim these as well while I'm here, killing off the hostiles, and then just go do the Armadas in that system. Go back, get repaired, then come back out and do the next faction. Yes, that is still a lot of travel time involved, but there is a way to get round that one should you want it. And I did actually mention it in the last video, which is the discovery. Getting that piece of research in the Starships tree up as high as you can, and that will allow you to at least jump the disco to a location and summon your ships out, so that will reduce your time. Get that Gorn Eviscerator up. Open a spatial rift. However, watch out, because obviously other players can use your rift as well in your alliance. However, for operating in G6, those players will have to be level up 61 or higher to use the rift in G6 space, because you cannot cross that border with it. Now, here you go. The Enterprise absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. So jumping into the reports here. Now, into the reports here, as you can see as well, 4 minutes ago, that's where I lost my miner. As you can see, all these are hazards. So you will receive a report to say why your miner was destroyed, or your ship, if you left your ship in there. You can't access these reports, so bit redundant. But anyway, so jumping into the battle log for this then. So, come on. So, as you can see, I took a little bit of damage. Absolutely nailed it. And I'm walking away with loot as well. Now, if you really wanted to come up these with loot crew, I can't say what would actually happen. But given the fact that the best loot crew that we have, which is the Enterprise E crew, guess what? I would say they're isolytic, but it says non-Armada. So guess what? You don't get to use, you can't use the isolated. So make sure you've got that extra isolytic damage. And then obviously I've got that, that's the chest as well. Now don't forget the loot drops from the hostile will be divided amongst your ships according to power. So again, if you can solo them using a single ship, brilliant, do it that way. If you can get the loot crew to work with it, brilliant, do it that way. Now, when you've actually completed these, you are going to take them to the Alliance store, where you will have access to the G6 Armada chest. These 3 right here. So, starting off here, here's your cost for them. And as you can see in here, you're going to get galactic solo rare directives here. Now, it is only 35. So if you can pull the 3 chest pull, that's going to help you, because that's going to give you 105 directives every day. The rares do take 200 directives to actually do. So if you can do the 600 every day, you could potentially end up with a rare armada once every 2 days if you do that. Now, at the minute, I can only do the 2 chest pull because I didn't get enough loot, so I'd need to hit a solo a little bit higher. But like I say, using Loot Crew would also benefit. I forgot to go through the chest to show you what else is in here. But luckily, it's all here. So you got repair speed ups, you got faction credits, you got hazard particles for your research, rare hazard particles for your research. Again, we'll talk about them shortly. Galactic acclaims, materials. As you can see, I've got 70 directives, Sigma parts, G5 parts, G5 materials, G6 materials, and some resources. It is all under RNG, so just bear that in mind. So let's just follow this little trail. So you've done Armada, your uncommon Armadas, you've finally got enough directives to do a rare, you run a rare, you get the loot, you bring it here, you spend it in here. The only difference this chest is going to have in comparison to the uncommon is the directives. Yes, 250 epic directives, 500 to run an Armada. So, if you can do this right, okay, you can effectively, you've got to hit the right power Armada. Bear in mind that this chest goes up to level 65 for me. So I can do this between 61 and 65. And this is the cost it's going to cost me. I'm hoping this doesn't change going up. But if I can get 175,000 loot out of the rares through the starter chest and the loot I gain out the hot Armada, I could do, in theory, 1 epic every 2 days. Now, bearing in mind, I said with the uncommons, you can only pull a maximum of 105 directives. So it'd take you 2 days doing the max pull to get 210 directives. And if you use it on the correct strength rare Armada to get enough loot, pull the 2 chests, you can do an epic every 2 days, the same as a rare. That's how good this sourcing absolutely is. That's how good. Every 2 days. Now, obviously, don't expect to do it. If needed be, go through the slowest process, which is one Armada, doing the 1 chest pull every day. So that's 6 days worth of pulls just to get 1 rare Armada. And then again, doing the 1 chest, you'll take an extra 2 runs at this. So you're looking potentially actually at 12 days to do 1 epic. That's the massive difference between the max pull in the uncommon and a 2 chest pull in here compared to just doing the 1 chest. It's a 10-day difference. 2 days if you can hit the high levels, and it's a big if. Or play it safe, take the 12 days. Me, I've not even found an epic yet. I found the rares, not found the epics. I think they're further in G6 space. So, but hey ho, I will look around a little bit more at some point. So that's the Armadas. Here's a G6 chest. So just realised I didn't scroll through the rares, but again, there's going to be no difference. It's just the amounts, obviously, as you go through, get more and more. So here you go. So you're getting standard speed ups, you're getting repair speed ups, resources, credits, particles, and galactic acclaims as well. So it's absolutely worth doing these Armadas if you can. So does that mean you can forget about the older versions? Yes, Actually, it really does. It means you can forget about them, leave them to the other members of your alliance, or you could actually just, you know, send a ship to help them out. Me, I'll send the Sanctus if they run them, and I can actually be bothered to turn up. And it is a case of if I can be bothered. Now, one thing as well, I don't think I had a chance to show this in the other video, but when you do look at the discovery, and I'm going to, circle back to this, go in here, you need to be in the Masters League at least to get that Prime Valor emblem. As you can see as well, I've already pulled mine this tournament, so I can't pull any more. But that's what's allowed me to get my discovery up to a 500 warp range. Yeah, put the warp range crew on it, I can get it over 600. But going in here, that's going to help do that particular piece of research for you for the discovery, if you really, really want to. But now, to circle off, we're going to end off with looking at the research. Oh, let's show you the repair for this particular. So, as you can see, Sigma all the way 1.8 million Latinum. But yeah, just click on that. Obviously, ask for helps. And again, if I look at trying to repair, and this is why another thing is the Selkie more is going to be. Is that going to be better than G5 faction miners? Yeah, because at the minute you're not worrying about having to repair a G6 uncommon warship, because they're going to be more difficult to repair if you can't get your hands on the repair speed ups. The repair speed ups do drop at a reasonable rate as well through various different hostiles. But again, it's still going to cost you a pretty penny or two. As you can see here, the 5 minutes, 15,000 lat. 15,000 lat. Just for a 5-minute repair speed up. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. I'm just going to let that repair, because we are going into the research. And then quickly after the research, I'll talk about a little trick that it's not going to be to everyone's liking, in all honesty, in a way to actually ensure you get the speed ups. But anyway, so the research, as I've already stated, is all in the combat tree. There is some in the mirrors where it does say about Sigma. Anything you can find with Sigma in it, make sure you're doing it for G6, because it will actually help you. And it's all efficiencies. So the G6 research starts here with the deflectors for the various hazards. These are the only ones that you can do in this first particular block. But again, you'll have to wait to Op 62. And all these cost your hazard particles. Yes, the hazard particles. You can get them through your dailies, Pinnacle of Power, the Armada chest, as you've just seen. So there are sources to actually get them as well. You've got this particular one here as well, which is increasing officer stats using the rare hazard particles as well. As you can see, I've got 33,000 already. So yeah, improving your stats should you want to. But the one thing as well that you saw me having for the cell key is this one here. Base hazard resistance for the cell key, the adapted skin. Level 1 at least is going to give me that little bit longer. And this is why I can only mine 27,000. Before I got this, it was a hell of a lot less. I'm talking like less than 10,000. Yeah. So making sure you've got the hazard resistance as well. And then as well, you've got this one, which is increasing your hull health for all ships as well, giving you that little bit of a boost. But there is a lot of research here. If you can do this one, if you've got access to the G7 materials, base hazard resistance, an extra 75%. Don't forget as well the tapering off effect when it comes to efficiencies. The higher your percentage of efficiency, the less it ultimately takes off, but because you can never ever zero it out. But as you can see, a lot of research in here. There are other forms of as you can see here, hazard resistance as well, but this is aimed specifically at a specific hazard for a specific faction. Federation is always Ion Storm. Don't ask me why. It always is. Even the G6 uncommons have hazard prevention, But again, it's for a specific hazard, so potentially looking at the idea of aiming all three. But again, as you can see, using G6 resourcing materials here to increase my hull health for my Federation ships. So it's like, for me, this would be ideal for getting more hull health for the Enterprise. That's more hostile kills. And believe it or not, the more hull health you have, the longer you can last in hazard systems. So as well. Now, there is the super highways as well available. As you can see right there in the middle of your screen. But again, as I've already mentioned, you need to be R&D 64. So sorry, you're going to have to travel and take part in those those warp ranges. Now, obviously, you do have various crew that can help, like Miles O'Brien's below deck increases warp range. You've got is it Tolley as well? I think his below deck abilities warp speed as well. You've got exocoms that can help in the alliance exocoms as well, so you can benefit your whole alliance with that one. So there is a lot of research, and you saw the timers on these. These are small timers. I'm still working through the G5 research. I've added it up today. I've still got about 109 days to do. I can actually get that less just to complete G5 research. But as well, join that as well, I could throw in the odd piece of G6 research as well. Now, just to quickly mention the G6 ones are in here. So it's like you've got this one here, which is your Sigma resources for station modules, repair efficiency as well. So just watch out for all your G6 stuff as well in other areas of the research, various research trees. Don't worry about your Starbase tree because there isn't anything in there of actual note. Now, another thing as well, what I will quickly mention as well for G6 space, when it comes to crewing, the Voyager below decks, B'Elanna Torres, Harry Kim, and Neelix will benefit from these in their respective ships for their respective G5 epics. So for morale, that's going to be Harry Kim on the Enterprise D. The Rataran is this one here, Hull Breach, B'Elanna Torres, Neelix at the top for the Didera decks. Making sure that you get them, they're going to increase the isolytic damage, your mitigation as well, because they're constantly proccing these abilities. Obviously, the only one here that's going to be a little bit more defensive and last longer in a firefight is going to be the Enterprise D with Harry, because of the morale, improving shield health. It's not by an awful lot, but it's there. And as you can see, guess what? Oh, I'll max that enough there. I'm not pulling one of them just yet. So, yeah, make sure you're top of your research as well. Now, the timers for the research, as you saw, were small. I've showed you the timers in the previous video. But here's an idea that I have thought of for low-level players in G6. Below 63, okay? And I'm going to say below 63 because I think this will actually benefit those particular players more. Take advantage of the timers, because the timers are small. If you haven't got the patience to wait a day and 10 hours with no helps off your alliance, then you clearly want to rush through. You want to rush it. But if you're prepared to hold back and wait, let it run down. This is what I'm doing with all my buildings right now and Sigma research. Letting the timers run out. I will rush the likes of my treasury in the far corner, 117 days. I will rush that every day. I'll wait till tomorrow for the dailies to click over, but I'll rush it. Get it gone. But as soon as it hits 60 and it says the next one's 61 and I need Sigma, I'll leave it. And in fact, I'll tell you what, right? We'll actually rush it through. I've got the Latinum to do it. Let's rush it through. Now let's see how long is that going to take. 3 days. Now, can I wait 3 days? Yeah. I've got And obviously, because I have spent... Oh, hello. Don't know why I've done that. Because I have spent money to get the extra builder slots, I've got 3 builder slots. I can put Sigma... Once I've got all the other ones out of the way, I can put the Sigma buildings in here without a problem. Without a problem. And I can just cycle them through. Cycle them through. I'll eventually get them all done. The only one that's going to give me the issue at the minute is this one, which is 16 days. Do I want to wait 16 days? Well, it's over a week. Yeah, I might consider speeding that one up just to go to op 62. But the reason I suggest taking your time and just letting the timers run down is because Sigma speed-ups are notoriously difficult to get your hands on. Now, there are a couple of places where you can go. One I'm going to show you here, and then I'm going to show you another one as well, but I'm not going to access that particular system. But if you go down to your DTI store, okay, scroll down. I believe I've got enough credits to actually do this, so I'm not worrying too much. You will find here, Sigma speed-ups, 120 credits each from static and temple. But in here you're going to get normal Sigma speed ups for your buildings, your tiering of your ships, your research. Yeah, so there's 3 places that you're going to need these things. And as well, you've got repair speed ups as well. So it all is chance. The RNG, you've not got a clue. It's not telling you how many sets you're going to get or anything. So I'm going to show you this one here, and I'll show you the next one. It's a 22-hour cooldown, but as you can see, I've got 2 different speed ups for repairs, and I got a single day on the normal. And I pulled this literally 24 hours ago. This is kind of what I got. I got 2 repair speed ups, and I got a single, what I would consider construction speed up. So yeah, that's the way I see it. So you're not particularly getting an awful lot, but it's going to give you something. So again, here we go. Look at this one. Oh, I got a single repair, but I've got a 30-minute speed up. Again, the timers, they're not that big. So do I need to rush them? No, I don't. There is another place where you can get 15-hour Sigma speed ups, construction speed ups, and that's in the Mirror Universe. Excuse me. And if we could just get there. And that's going to be here. Oh, not in Romulus, in Terex. You can get your 15-hour speed ups from here. But again, it drops. It's RNG basis. My Enterprise D, with the correct crew going in here, can kill 17 of the hostiles in here. And I'll probably end up with 1, if I'm lucky, 2 15-hour speed ups from it. So yeah, it's the better place to source them. There's no questions about it. It is the better place to source them. But again, it's still the grind. But at the same time as well, I'm getting G6 broken parts as well for the refinery. I'm getting reputation for my factions. You're looking at 2 good reasons there to go and grind, and you're getting a third one with that 15-hour Sigma speed up. So I'm not going to diss it. It's there, and it does work. But anyway, so that's the speed ups. That's G6, and that's my proposal. Take your time, going from 61 to 64, op 64. Take your time. If you want to, like I said, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to want to do it. But the one thing is, if you take your time with the buildings, 1, they'll level themselves up eventually. 2, you've not got a problem. Because by the time you get to 64, you're going to have a crap load of those speed ups. Because you've not used them to do any research. So yeah, include it. Put it on the research as well. You've not used them for any buildings. You've not got an uncommon in Sigma. You've got the cell key. That's it. Spend them on the cell key at least. That's as much as I'm prepared to say on that. But you're still going to end up with a crap load. So it's like, if I took this building here, needs Sigma, you can see what I've got here. I've got a 3-day. I've got a single day. I've got a 15-hour. I don't go grinding very often. But then the next one for me is down on the hourly. 59 of them. I've got a 30-minute. I've got 96 15s, 138 10s, nearly 1,000 5 minutes, and nearly 500 minutes in a single minute. That's going to get better and better before I hit Op 64. Like I said, only upgrading the cell key. Now, when it comes to the G6 Uncommon, am I going to get it? Yes, I'll probably get the Akira because it's a Canon ship. I might get the Negvar because, again, it's a Canon ship. Am I going to upgrade them? No. But there's a reason also for making sure that you do get all 3 of them, because there is some research that will require it. So this is the final bit I'm going to end on. Just show you this little bit of research. So if we actually just jump in here, as you can see from the clock, I'm at an hour already for this video. Very long video. I do apologize, but if we just quickly just show you this bit of research, like I say, we'll make this the last point. Right now, where did I spot it? I did spot it somewhere. Was it this one? Here you go. So this one obviously is going to be the G6 faction miners. This is going to give you some hazard resistance towards them. So you've got that one. Is this one? Nope, not that one. Where did I see you? Was it this one? Nope. Oh my god. Oh, here it is. It's these hazards as well for particular ships. If you wanted to do these hazards for Klingon ships, for the asteroids, you're going to need a tier 1 Negvar. So, yeah, there is going to be some research which is going to be locked behind these. Whether that continues further on, I do not know. So watch out for that particular research. But anyway, that's it. G6. Covered in 2 videos. Yes, I do apologise. This video has gone on a long time. I didn't mean it to, but it has. Let me know what you think, though, in the comment section down below. Are you already a G6 player? Are you enjoying G6 space? Are you coming up to G6? Has this video helped you? And does it give you an idea of where you want to go? Another thing as well, I'm throwing in literally last minute. This is a 2-second thing. Well, a little bit. Plan ahead. I learned from G5. Plan ahead. I got to the Enterprise D and I took what I learned very late on in G5 to get my Enterprise D. I'm now planning for the Enterprise E. That's pretty much it. And that's what I'm doing with my ships. I'm planning ahead. So, rare's the next one for me. Not the uncommon. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm Admiral Pegasus. Stay safe. Live long and prosper. And I shall catch you next time. Goodbye.